Hello, everybody. This is Psi.Vision Astrology. I am Chase Boutice, your host. I am a Psi-Visionist, a term I myself have coined. Well, I haven't. It's not me, but the powers that be gave this name to me because we are in a new era. We live in a new time. The energy has shifted. The currencies have shifted, and we need new names. We need new language. We need new concepts to keep up with what's happening. And so PSI refers to the energy behind all of matter. The psi factor is the factor that scientists can't explain when things don't turn out as they planned. It's beyond linear dynamics. It is of a quantum model. It's based in energy. And that is where I believe we are at in this current time post 2020 is the consciousness of the planet has shifted. And we are now living in a time where energy, consciousness, and the absorption, focus, concentration of it is more available to us. So that's what I'm here to help guide you alongside. I use astrology as a map, as a tool to help me ground in the moment. And then from there, I allow whatever wants to come through. That's how I work. I just did a live a couple days ago and I had so much fun, and I was on the full moon in Scorpio and I had so much fun, and I love doing live is where it's at for me. Live is the most fun thing for me. It's where my true creativity kind of gets to express itself and be dynamic and fluid. And that's where the highest messages come through. So, and it's the wave of the future, I think. And the future is now. And so, yeah, that is why I am here with you today. There is a chat option, which I love, which means that you guys can ask questions if you're curious about anything that I'm talking about, or you have anything going on. If it's appropriate and I feel like I can answer it, I will. So yeah, let's do a little chart of the moment check-in. Here we go. So, okay. That's kind of how I've been doing it now, is that I'm not really looking at anything. I'm just kind of allowing it all to dynamically evolve. And so I'm looking at the chart of the moment here at this moment. Right now, we have a stellium from where I am at in Palm Springs, California. We have a stellium in Taurus. We have the sun 1 degree away from Uranus. I've been talking about the Uranian shifts. So this energy that I've been talking about, the psi, right? The psi. Like, I was trying to figure out what the heck is it that I do, right? Like, what is it that I actually do in this new era, in this new age? And what is it that, because it's not a coach, it's not a old school psychic, right? Those are all of like this kind of idea. So Psi is really a connected to this energy of Aquarius. And we entered the age of Aquarius on December 21st, 2020. So if you've been hearing about that kind of is the impetus, the energy, the channel through which this new frequency is establishing itself. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is a transpersonal planet. It is very far away. We cannot see it with our naked eye. It's an archetype, right? All astrology is archetypal, right? It's all just archetypal energies blending. And then we kind of look at this map and we kind of see how they all come through, right? And so right at this current moment, we have the sun. Wherever the sun is very important. Wherever the sun is how our seasons are dictated, right? So the sun moves through 12 zodiac signs. It moves through 4 seasons. Currently, the sun, the life force energy that fuels all life on this planet, is moving through the sign of Taurus, right? The constellation, the energy of Taurus. Taurus is a fixed, stable earth sign. It rules money. It rules materiality. It rules possessiveness. It rules possession. It also rules self-worth. And for me personally, I don't have any Taurus in my chart, but I do have I have my sun in the second house, which is the house of Taurus. Whatever house your sun is in your chart is the most important house for you. So, Taurus energy, when really gone to its depth, because old school astrology is like, oh yes, you like fine things and you really appreciate slowness and you want to you like nice fabrics. And it's like, yeah, okay, all that's great. That's all true. But true, deep, the depths of Taurean energy really comes up. It's really about being able to receive things that bring you great pleasure and receive them enough. To be able to receive them means that you have a high level of self-worth. This is what I have realized in my life. In general, what is connected to being able to receive. And this is I talked about this last live because I was a full moon in Scorpio, right? Which is opposing the sun in Taurus, right? So I'm just going deeper and deeper into Taurus energy now. But, the empaths, the people that are attracted to my work, right? Who's ever watching this now, we are the ones that have the hardest time with self-worth based on the old pre-2020 paradigm, because that was a paradigm that was based in ruthless materiality, right? Linear consciousness, Newtonian science, which means duality, right? Capitalism at its bare end with no, not able to feel or sense what we're doing to ourselves or the planet or to really care, right? We had this patriarchy, colonialism, right? All of these systems, it reached its peak. It reached its absolute peak in 2020, and then it got taken down on every single level. We were washed queen. We were washed queen. We were washed clean, right? So now we're kind of at this playing field that has been leveled. And so the empaths, of course, the sensitive ones, the psychics, the intuitives, the people that sense energy much easier than the rest of humanity. We're the ones that have struggled the most in the old system because the old system did not value us, right? The old system did not value energy unless you were a psychic, but then you had to hustle and bustle to make a dime, right? It's and that's not what this is a new era, and we have a new honor of all of life. We have a new honor of our feelings, of pleasure, of receiving, of this excommunicating of this grind culture that is killing us and everything else, right? With the death of the dollar is kind of dead. And cryptocurrency is the new currency of the future, which is a truly unified currency of the planet, which is destabilizing all of the colonial order, right? I was just reading today about how there's this cryptocurrency that's going to be infused into the Africa, many countries of Africa, that's basically going to be bringing Wi-Fi and internet to all of Africa. Imagine what can happen for the world. These spots on the planet that have just been so neglected because of this post-colonial energy that is so decayed and so old, right? And so not in its power anymore. This new currency, this new frequency, this new vision that is the crypto world is shifting the entire dynamics of it. And so now that is kind of a more established baseline that is beginning to set this new world order off, all of us empaths and psychics and insensitive ones have this grand opportunity to really tune into that frequency, right? Because you will notice that if you focus on the old world, if you focus on the old world order, this has happened to me since the age of Aquarius began, really 2021, right? When I really go into that energy of the old world, I get so freaked out. I am that was not a world that supported life. That was not a world that supported the divine feminine, that honored life, that honored goodness, that honored beauty. right? That honored the earth, that honored women, right? That honored men. It was not a world that honored life. So when I think about having to survive in that energy again, I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way I'm ever going back, right? Things have moved too far. All of us. And the more we hold on to this new energy, the more we sit in it, the more we focus on it, the more we center ourselves in it, the stronger and stronger and stronger it becomes. And this has been the downloads that I have been getting. And this is honestly this is honestly why I realized I've incarnated even on this planet. And maybe this is why you've incarnated on this planet as well during this time. Because I've asked myself a lot in my life, like, why am I on this planet? Right? Like, well, because I've just never been somebody that fits in ever, anywhere, right? And never fit into any paradigm, the marriage paradigm, the body paradigm, nothing, the thought paradigm, right? Nothing, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've incarnated to live during this era, to live during this time, right? And so this Sun conjunct Uranus energy that is currently happening, they're 1 degree apart, right? This is a true initiation. Uranus rules revolution, rebellion, heightened intuitive insights, deep psychic awareness. It rules like Uranus was like like the French Revolution, like these parts of humanity that have completely shifted and upturned, right? And so Uranus has been going through Taurus. Traditionally, Uranus going through Taurus is not those two don't match well, because Taurus is like, leave me alone. I am stable. I am fixed. I am here to have pleasure. I am here to enjoy myself. And Uranus is like, you're old, get it together. Like, whip something up. Like this isn't working for people anymore. So those two energies are like Uranus is like, pa, pa, and Taurus is like, oh, don't like, I'm fixed. I'm stable. Right. But when they're harmonious, as they are in this moment with this conjunction that is happening, we're going through a Uranus cycle because the Sun, Venus, and Mercury have all been transiting through Taurus as well, activating this Uranian energy that has been there since 2017 and that has been working with Saturn, all that will be working through Saturn all throughout 2021. What is happening with that is that we're going through these two are harmonizing. It's highlighting and exciting and opening these new energies, these new frequencies. And that's what I keep talking about. That's really what I keep feeling, keep bringing up, keep discussing, is that we're in an age of a new currency, of a new frequency. And it's these up-leveling it's shifting the materiality from which we have known, from which we have operated, from which we have based our sense of stability, possession, possessiveness, and self-worth, right? So this is really an incredible time to dive deeply into these psychic attunement, right? I call it 11:11 attunement. I was born at 11:11 universal time. I have a connection with 11:11. I feel that it's my cosmic energy, cosmic home. And, I believe that this Uranian energy is very cosmic. It's a cosmic energy, as is Aquarius. It's about the cosmic family. It's beyond the earth energy. It's earth as part of a giant energy, right? And it's starting to open us up to more of a cosmic truth, right? And so, this Uranian energy is really kind of bringing in this highlighting of this empowered psychic awareness that you yourself have. So if you are going through a period right now where you are feeling like psychically, I don't know, inspired, where you're getting these intuitive hits about things that are like really radical. Uranus rules radical energy. It rules inventiveness. It rules genius. It's really outside of the box. And it's not something that the old paradigm likes or knows how to have anything to do with. Uranus is Uranus, right? It's named Uranus. Like, come on, you can pick a better name for it, right? It's bizarre. It's weird. It's way ahead of the fray. It's connected to Aquarius, and it's just it is revolutionizing our connection to materiality and ourselves. And so I really kind of feel like the deepest kind of self-worth that can be built, the most pleasure that we can receive, is really allowing ourselves as the sensitives and the intuitives and the empaths of this new era to begin to really allow ourselves to express our truth about what we sense about this new era. Because I know a lot of us, hey, Carly, I know a lot of us are in this new era, and we're getting these hits about things, right? We're getting these like feelings about things, right? Like, but we don't have anybody to talk to them about. Like, everybody's still like, which way is up? I don't know. What's this new world? How's everything going to go? And everybody's looking to everybody else, and they're trying to go back to their old ways, but the old ways don't work no more. And everybody's feeling weird about it and insecure, and they don't know what to wear a mask or not to wear a mask. And they want to hug, they want to hang out, but, and they miss humans. They miss humanity. Right. And that juxtaposed next to this energy on the planet of like this decentralization, which is the end of colonialism, right? And the end of the English monarchy, the end of the dollar, right? These symbols of deep colonization, right? It's all becoming one through an ether, through a magnetic etheric energy that is of Uranus, that is electric. Uranus rules electricity, right? So in this time that we're in currently, I would really beg you all to begin to allow yourselves to speak, act, be whatever this new energy that is coming through, the sense that you have about the new energy that's coming through, because that's what's been happening. That's why I'm doing this, because I feel that we need leaders in this new era, and it's all of us empaths. It's time for us to rise up and be the leaders, all of us, because a lot of people don't know which way to go. And if we don't rise up, others will, and they may not lead us in the right direction. And traditionally, the people that have felt the most comfortable leading have been white men in the old culture, right? Which has been part of this order that perpetuates itself, right? And if we don't lead, that order will come back, right? I don't believe that it will. Yeah, damn straight, Carly. I don't believe that it will, but it's up to us to shift that dynamic, right? And so I'm calling upon anybody who's watching this to stand up, begin to lead, begin to voice, begin to shape this new era with your focus, with your consciousness, with your words, with your beliefs. How do you want to see the new world? We went in this deep void state in 2020 where nobody knew what anything was. And it was a void. It was death. It was the 0 point. And we're starting to emerge, and we need to take responsibility for this new world. So if you are watching this, you are meant to hear this message, because this is what I've been guided to tell you. And I just would ask yourself, like, am I showing up? Am I showing up for this new era? Are there parts of myself that are afraid? With this energy in Taurus, it's also reigniting like where prosperity will come from. In the old system, it was like we used to think money was coming from this kind of grind energy that was based on this patriarchal, centralized colonial order, right? That's been diminished. So now, like, the prosperity, the pleasure, the abundance is coming through these Uranian sources, this etheric, electric energy, this decentralized materiality. How will this work for you? How does this apply to you? It doesn't necessarily have to be the internet, okay? It can be anything, but I want to, ask yourselves, how does this actually apply to me? Like, how am I applying this Uranian psychic empowered energy into the now, right? Carly says, thank you, Chase, for always showing up. Thanks, girl. Yes, just gots to. You keep showing up too. And that's the kind of energy, right, that we got to have in this new era. Like, why are we here? Why else are we here? I mean, I remember sitting in my bathtub. God, when was that? I think it was like in 2018. And I had broken up with somebody that I was so in love with. And I was sitting in the bathtub and I felt like I wanted to die. And I was like, it was a narcissistic, empath relationship. It was a really dark energy that I had been a part of. And I remember sitting in the bathtub and just asking myself and God, like, if I'm not here for love, if I'm not here for this kind of relationship that I think that I want, why am I here? And it was so interesting because it was in that moment that I got real clarity that, like, I'm actually here for a reason. I'm here for a mission. I'm here to do this work, and I think we've been so programmed, especially as women and men, but to have this idea around love, and that the purpose of the purpose of life is love, but the dynamics of the patriarchy that has ruled and the colonial order that has ruled our system for so long has distorted the energies of what love actually is, right? And so whenever I would get in any kind of relationship, it would always be like, because I'm so empathic and so giving, I would just always be in these, I would always get sucked dry and exhausted. And then I was like, is this what love is? And I finally would have to end it, right? And the only thing that was really going to charge me, that was going to give me that real true love, was this energy that I can connect with and to fulfill myself. This is what brings the deepest amount of self-worth. This is what brings the ultimate pleasure. And when we tune into those things that really give us the most pleasure, what gives you the most pleasure? That's what I talked about last live, was the Scorpio full moon and how this is an era of pleasure. And so what is it in yourself that really brings you pleasure? And it's a question it's a very deep question, because I think that it's also what you're naturally very good at. I think in our culture, we're conditioned to want certain things. Like we're conditioned in our weird culture to everybody want fame or whatever. We're conditioned to want certain things, but it's really asking yourself, what brings you the most pleasure when you're doing it? Like, if you can transcend your fear of whatever it is to do it, because that's a whole thing, right? To put yourself out there and do something, it's scary. It's really scary. And so there's this whole buildup with it. But then once you're actually doing it, you feel so great, right? But then it takes like another fucking month or two for you to do the thing again, because you have all this nervous built up conditioning around it. What if we blasted through that and just started paying attention to, like, this brings me pleasure. This makes me happy. This is what I want to do. And just start giving that to yourself, And Carly says, oh my gosh, same here. Finally ended that dynamic relationship. Oh, that dynamic myself. Yeah, the narcissist empath dynamic, which is a big one for really, really sensitive people, right? Those of us that are really sensitive. Yeah, so just trying to think if there's anything else. And if anybody has any questions, as astrological questions, you can ask me, or any questions at all. I'm a Psi.Visionist, so I envision, I'm a seer. I can see the energetics. I can see the energetics of the present and the future, and tap into certain timelines. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to express to you guys all here today. Oh, the North Node is almost directly, it's pretty much almost directly opposing the Moon. The North Node currently, which is where we're kind of heading, the North Node in astrology is where we're heading. It's like where we're heading, that's a little bit uncomfortable, but we need to head in that direction, is in Gemini. And it's been in Gemini. And Gemini is the communicator, it's the broadcaster, it's the talker, it's the socialite, it's curious, it gobbles up information, it gives information, it's the teacher. Where maybe in your life can you start to own some more Gemini energy? It's funny because my own North Node is in Gemini and it's at 11 degrees currently. 11 is one of my favorite number. So yeah, where could you actually own some more Gemini energy? Is there some part of yourself that hasn't been expressing? I think this is a big thing with empaths, because I think naturally in the old system, we were traumatized by the system and a lot of us went inward. I mean, even me, I'm obviously have a big personality, but I spent most of my time alone because I liked being in solitude because the old system overwhelmed me so much that I didn't know how to fucking act in it. But so, but now I think that times are changing and we need to speak more. The empaths need to speak more. That's what I'm saying. We need to lead. That's why the North Node is in Gemini right now. And that's why it's been in Gemini. Where else can you speak in your life to certain things? Where else can you speak in your life to, what do you need to speak to? What has been inside? What have you been holding inside? What are your thoughts on this new era, on this post 2020 era? What are you feeling? What are you guys feeling? Let me know. Oh, hey, Lisa. Yay. I mean, it's funny because, this Gemini, like I have my North Node in Gemini. I've been feeling the Gemini energy. I've been feeling this need and want to broadcast, right? But it's like, I could feel there was this weird block that I had around broadcasting. And it was because when you're an empath, especially in the old system, like we have just got all of these, we internalize all the pain of the world, right? We internalize all the unworthiness, everything. And we didn't necessarily believe that our voices were worth hearing, that we were worthy of being heard, because in the old system, we weren't really valued, right? In the new world, we are. And so it's really our time to rise and assist and guide the energies of the new, especially for people who are younger, who are have this feeling that things have been off for them their entire lives. Like my partner is 28 and he has had this feeling his entire life that something has been, that this world has not been right. And it's like, there are people that are younger that have this feeling, but they don't have leaders. They don't have people to speak to this energy, this old school new age, energy that has been, is no longer. It is like, the new age energy is kind of archaic. We're not in the new age anymore. It's just part of our reality now. So I want to ask you guys, how does this work for you? How does this work for you? How does this show up for you? How might you be able, wow, this really resonates. I feel the call and I've been beginning my journey to teach, guide. I saw that, to teach and guide others. Yes, Carly, I saw that. That was such an amazing, I'm so freaking, this is my friend and client, Carly Volans. And she's an incredible empath, and you just recently decided to put yourself out there as the teacher guide that you are, that we naturally are. And that's the thing. In the old system, yes. In the old system, we felt that we needed to train and research and write and read, right? We needed to go through thousands of trainings. No. Like, I have a master's degree. I didn't even need to get that shit. Like, we are wise. We have the wisdom. We have the wisdom and the power. We are born with it. And that is what this world is craving. It's so hyper rational. There are people that have studied and studied and studied, but can't figure out what freaking color to wear because they don't know themselves, right? They don't know which to go left or right because they don't know. They're so out of tune with their intuition. Ask them to quote Goethe and they'll read you an entire monologue, right? But ask them, how they feel about something. It takes them an hour to tap in. They can't. And this is what's wrong with our current reality, right? This is what's been wrong with our current reality, right? Hey, Becky! Yes, all the queens are coming. Yeah, and so I just this era for me is all about, we don't need to study, you guys. We don't need to study and study and study. We already have all of the magic. We already have all of the medicine. We just need to tap it and allow it out. And if we can tune into what will bring us how that actually brings us pleasure, which is what I'm talking about with this Tauran energy that we're in right now, how this actually brings me pleasure to actually communicate my gifts versus feeling this deep fear that it's not going to be received, that I'm not worthy enough to teach it, that I need to learn some more, this and that and the other. No. You need to trust your own inner guidance, your own inner wisdom, and to know that, and to rise and allow yourself to rise into the guide, the powerful queen, the powerful king that you naturally are, right? That feels like a message from the patriarchy that we need more education, because I only read or that we need to study. Yeah, I only read things. This sounds so stupid, but it's not. I only read things now that I'm guided to read. Of course I love to read, but I used to have this thing where I was constantly searching, in my early 20s and stuff, and even mid 20s, I would be constantly going to the bookstore looking for I need to learn more. I need to figure this out. I need to study. I need to figure it out. Right. And I don't really go down that path no more. I follow what I feel. I follow the signs. I follow my intuition with what I need to absorb. Most recently, I kept getting signs to study Goethe. I mean, I don't know why I just quoted somebody talking about that, but Goethe, I love his quotes. He's so on the level. And I feel like he was such a visionary for his time back in the 1700s. And so I got some Goethe and I've been reading it. It's pretty hard, but I just have been following the breadcrumbs of whatever it is that is revealing itself. But I haven't been on this hunt. Yeah. Goethe's cool. He wrote curious about Goethe too, Megan says. Chase taught me how to let my gine out. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's something that Megan and I, we definitely just we just let our gines out. We went and got naked in Hawaii all the time. Went swimming. It was great. Carly says, Chase taught me how to trust myself and start hearing my own inner voice versus doing what others want. Isn't that the hardest thing? Isn't that the hardest thing in the world to just, that's the journey. That's the massive journey that I've been on. 2021 is really, that's the journey of my life. Right. But, I think that this 2021 has been really about just saying no to people, saying no to situations that are not break. That's my dog. He has this thing where he coughs. Come here, Nico. You want to say hi? Come here. He's got this thing where he coughs now, but he's cool. Say hi to everybody. There's Nico. I think he just wants to be on the camera. What's going on? You see everybody? All right. Anyway, whew. Does anybody have any questions or want to talk about anything about astrology? Megan, do you want to talk about anything? I wish I could bring you guys on here to have all the screens. Anybody have any astrology questions? Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Chase taught me how to stand up for myself and not tolerate and BS anymore. Not tolerate any bullshit from anybody anymore. These are some fucking awesome women on here. I love you guys so much. How about the waning full moon? Fuck yes. The last couple of days were hard. Duh, that freaking, did you guys have a crazy, did you have a crazy Scorpio full moon? I felt like I lost my mind during that full moon. It was so intense. And it was so crazy. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Lisa. It was so crazy because I did a tarot reading that morning because I was like, I got to figure out what the fuck is going on here. And I got the most intense tarot reading, and the last card of the tarot reading was death. And I was like going through my my deck that I use is the Thoth Tarot, but then I use the Angelus Aryan Tarot Handbook, which is the best tarot handbook that I've ever experienced. And I was looking because every time I read those descriptions, I always get something new, right? And I was reading, it said, it was talking about, actually, let me just grab it and read it to you guys because it was really good. Actually, I still have it up back there. Okay. Ugh. Okay, let's read it real quick. It's 13. It's the number 13, right, of death. And that's the Scorpio number, right? That's the number. Death in Scorpio that's what Scorpio rules, death and rebirth, right? So death's rebirth symbol represents the universal principle of detachment and release. This was what I was really going into, the energy of detachment, because this is what I've been really thinking about in 2020, 2021. That full moon was so intense. I had so much old stuff come up to work through, right? Like, I'm curious to know what kind of stuff. So 13 represents the universal principle of detachment and release. It is through letting go that we were able to give birth to new forms. Cutting through old binding patterns allows us to let go of the old and give birth to the new or the unexpressed parts of ourselves. So death is the Scorpio symbol of the deck. Scorpio has 3 symbols which represent 3 types of transformation or death rebirth stages. The scorpion, then it's the eagle, then it's the snake, and then the eagle. In order to transform, we must let go of old identities in order to be able to express the new ones, much like a snake that sheds its skin. So I think that this was the piece that I was really, really, really seeing, though, this time around that was so intense. What did Lisa say? Oh, I love this conversation with you and your community. So good. Thank you. Yes. So the thing that was like really hitting home for me this last full moon, and I don't know if you guys were feeling this too, was this energy of detachment. Because I think that when I think what's happening, because we're these empaths, right? We're the witches. We're the ones who are doing the feeling work for the planet, right? We're processing the emotional labor for this planet, right? We're helping them, everything and everyone up level. We're assisting in these new frequencies, which means that we have to do it in ourselves, right? And so the detachment piece is when you're empathic, really, really psychic and empathic, you are absorbing, you have a really hard time releasing yourself from the pain of anybody else. And something has been happening to me post 2021, and I'm like, I think it's this connection. That's why I connected it to the Taurus and the pleasure, because I'm prioritizing my own energy field, which means that I am detaching. I have to detach if I'm going to prioritize my own energy field. Otherwise, if I stay empathic and I'm a sponge and I'm constantly serving everyone's energy and I don't have boundaries of my own energetic field, right? Then I'm not detaching from their energy. I'm not detaching from any energy. I'm an open book. I'm constantly serving the energy of all of humanity all of the time, which is how I used to be. And it was so tiring. I got so tired, and I would feel like I was always getting used, and I would feel exhausted, and I would always feel like I'm constantly giving, but there was never like something material to show for it. There wasn't ever something that I could see that was actually shown for it. Right. It was just like, it was just a feeling. It was just an energy, and none of that was prioritized or seen or talked about. Right. Oh, you're shining so bright. Thank you. Yeah, so I feel like this new energy, that's when the last video I just talked about being in my queendom, being in my power, being a magnetic, having this magnetic energy, the magnetism that begins to happen. This is what I'm realizing. I'm realizing this about prosperity. I'm realizing this about work. I'm realizing this about power. And this is very scorpionic. Magnetism, right? When you are somebody that is constantly giving energy out, you're giving the universe the signal that you'll do anything for it at any time. And that's the way I used to be, like, because I love people and I want to help them and I can sense their pain. But what I was doing was I was not paying attention to myself. I was not paying attention to my own energy. And there's something there on a very deep subconscious level where people can sense that. And then they treat you in a certain manner because they sense that you're not prioritizing yourself. So ever since I've started prioritizing myself and I started creating this energetic boundary, this is the course. I created a course called Establish the Sacred Boundary, Establishing Your Energetic Field. This is what I've been doing for 2020 into 2021, which is establishing this energetic field, which creates a natural boundary, which also is what creates magnetism. It's the same idea of receptivity, of bringing things to me instead of me going out chasing, needing, grasping. That's that old energy, y'all. This now the new energy, because I'm prioritizing my own pleasure and I'm getting really comfortable with detachment, which is this full moon scorpionic energy, right? It's that real energy of letting go of that need to care for people in a way that is where their primary source of feeling, where you were their primary source of love. I'm sure that you guys can relate to this. Please tell me if you do, because I know y'all do. Because we all going through the same thing. And so when I start allowing myself to really sit in that no, prioritize my energy field, what begins to happen is there is a kind of magnetism where things start to come to me, because people sense an energy when you yourself are not giving as much, because there's something there where they're like, oh, that person values themselves. What's behind there? How did they get that energy? And it's really very scorpionic. It's very scorpionic because, I've been close with a lot of, I've gotten so good at this. Ooh, I love that, Carly. Now I manifest what I want. Yeah, I've had so many Scorpios in my life, and, I would always notice how they had this magnetism about them. Like, you've heard that about Scorpios, right? They just kind of have a magnetism. They just draw things to them, right? And I would always kind of be really curious about that. And then I was working with a client the other day, and I was talking about this energy around receiving and boundaries and detachment and the no. And really, when you're in that space and you're not giving so much, you're not giving everything, you're not just an open book to serve humanity, and you begin to have your own boundary and your energetic field, that creates, there is something there that you're hiding, that you're not showing, that you're not giving. And that's what the Scorpios have. Because Scorpios they keep things hidden that they don't ever show anyone. And that is how they maintain their power. That is how they maintain their integrity. That's my Saturn. My Saturn's in Scorpio. But yeah, so there's a real magnetism to that. And so anyway, that's what I wanted to say about the full moon in Scorpio, is that's kind of, and I think that's why it was so hard, was because there's still these pieces of myself and all of us, right, that we're all going through, where we're letting go of that need to mother, that need to help, that need, because it's so deep. Because even now, like, I'm, no matter, it's like, because it's naturally who I am. I'm a naturally caring person. I'm a naturally loving person, right? I'm sure you are as well. And, it's actively choosing to not get involved with somebody's issues. And what I learned through 2020 very, very, very strongly, and this is what I've been holding to, is that it's actually the most loving thing that I can possibly do for humanity, the other person and myself, to prioritize my energy and to say no. Because if I keep assisting and giving and processing that person's emotions for them, they are never going to learn to do it themselves. And that is what codependency is. And that's the narcissist empath dynamic in a nutshell. And that's the patriarchal dynamic in a nutshell. And that's how we're dismantling it and ending it now by prioritizing and collectivizing and condensing our energy and not giving it to everyone. We give it to who we want, when we want, and we make sure that there is a reciprocity, which means you be very picky about who you give your energy to, and you make sure that there is an equal exchange, because if you're in any kind of dynamic where there's not an equal exchange, your self-worth just gets chipped away over time, and you dim your light, and you're not able to express the full brilliance of who you are in this life. Damn. I've held, this is the shit we all need to hear. And this is the shit that we all are going through. And it feels good to talk about it. So I'm so grateful you guys are here hanging out, and that we can all just kind of rally around this and just get stronger and stronger and stronger with it. And because we just got to keep talking about it. We got to keep reminding ourselves. We got to just stay in it every day, get pumped up, remember the truth. Stay in our power, stay in our grace, right? So I think that's probably about it for today. If there's not any more questions about anything, if you guys have any more questions, you can type them in now. Just checking out the chart right now, see if there's anything left I want to talk about. I think I'm pretty good. I think I got the main message out through today. Thank you so much, Chase. Thank you so much, Carly. Yay. I love you guys. I'm so happy you're here. This is so much fun. I'm just going to keep doing this. I just want to keep doing this. It's so much fun. I just love hanging out, talking. I have a big mouth, a big Italian mouth, so I can just talk, but it's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. All right, y'all. I love you so much. So fun to have you here. And this is great. This is great connecting and like rallying on these new energies and on these new power. Stay in your queendom. Stay in your kingdom. I bow to you. I bow to your power. I bow to your sensitivity. I bow to your empathy. And I give you the strength and the energetic boundaries to prioritize your energy field so that you may do your sacred work for this planet at this point in time, because we need it. We need you. Everybody on this planet needs you. All right, y'all, my spiritual warriors, my beautiful priestesses and priests, I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.